Good evening, welcome to Sky Blue Fans TV, and I hope you all had a lovely Christmas, nice Christmas dinner, and Santa brought all the presents that you wanted. Well, all the Sky Blue fans got their present against Swansea, which was 3 points, which is all what we wanted. Hopefully we'll get another 3 tomorrow night. And to discuss all that tonight, we've got a full lineup tonight, no depleted squad, and back in contention for a place in the team is Milesy. Good evening.
Good evening, everybody. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Yes, and the same to you, mate. And Claudia, good evening. You're back in the team.
Yeah, thank you very much for the selection. I feel like LADITT Baudier.
Yeah, we had a bit of depleted squad in the last show, but we're back to full strength. So hopefully the Sky Blues will be back to full strength soon as well. Good evening, Vicky, who was in the original lineup.
Good evening. Good evening.
And
Merry Christmas,
Jack,
everybody.
Yes, same to you. And Jack, he's back after injury as well.
Good evening and Merry Christmas, you filthy animals, and a Happy New Year.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I hope you all enjoyed your Christmas turkey. If you did have turkey, of course. Not everybody does have turkey, but I think most people do, don't they? Yeah, to be fair. Well, we've got a lot to discuss tonight. We're going to discuss that fantastic 3 points against Swansea. We're going to discuss the Ipswich game, very important Ipswich game coming up as well. Plus, I'm sure we'll have loads of comments as well, and about discussions about a little bit about January transfer window as well, and the players we need to bring in and stuff like that as normal. But we're going to start with Miles. Good evening.
Good evening.
Are you fully fit and raring to go?
I don't know if I'm fully fit, but yeah, no, all good here. Yeah, very, very good. Very happy with since the defeat at Ipswich. The boys have done us proud, really, to be honest. And they've kept it going. Bless them.
They have, and I think we all wanted 3 points against Swansea, and we got them, didn't we? How did you see the team selection for that game? Because there was a couple of changes, weren't there?
Yeah, I was pleased to see Sims come back in. I was well happy with that. Absolutely superb. And we knew there had to be a change at left back. And, because Jay De Silva, the silly little boy, did something daft. And we probably would have won that game at Southampton. But that's another topic another time. But now you knew you could only rely on Bidwell, I think, to come into that role to fill the boots of De Silva, because Brow still hasn't had much time. I know you got to give him game time to get him some game time, but I think you had to rely on, Bidwell really. Frank Lampard knows what to do and how to play him, so I think that was the right decision. And then, you got Kitchen coming back, which I thought he had an absolute blinder, to be honest.
Yeah.
Absolutely superb. And I was just pleased that Sims was back in the team, because I just think, had you just look, he's the best finisher in our team. We know that he's on it. When he's on it, he's really good. But the last few games, for me, he was a little bit off it, and maybe it just might have given him a little bit of a kick up the bum, being dropped for that game. It might have been tactical, because Swansea, I thought, they set up really well against us, didn't they? So, but I thought Sims, did well when he came in. So I'm happy with the starting lineup. I thought it was pretty good, to be fair.
And do you think? Because I think Lampard said it. He sort of wanted the squad rotation. Do you think there was more squad rotation with the Hadji Sims, or was it more tactical? Do you think it was just rotation because we got games very close together?
It could be, and maybe it was one of those games where we thought, okay, yes, we could rotate it here, but I think it was more of his physical presence up front against Swansea. That's, for me, that's probably what I would think. Frank's obviously saying, he did say, wasn't it, was to rotate it and stuff, and there was tactical as well, but I think mainly it's his physical presence, isn't it? And I thought seeing him come into the team sheet, I thought it was great. And we know that the game on tomorrow night is going to be completely different, how we approach that game. So maybe it is a game where Haji Wright starts tomorrow.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with you there. I think he's probably going to go for Hadji tomorrow night. Bidwell, I mean, a lot of people maybe thought Brower might get a run in the team because I was quite impressed with Brower against Southampton, but he opted for Bidwell.
Yeah, I think that's his safe bet though, Ken. I think he knows what Bidwell can do, and we've seen it on a couple of occasions where he changed it up a bit where he pulled Bidwell into the centre of defence to bring on Brow the other week. So, and I think that Brow still isn't up to the fitness levels that probably Frank wants. So it was more of a safety cushion really to have Bidwell there.
Yeah, well, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I thought, it was a decent lineup. I mean, they did okay, the people that came in, and I thought he usually can use his subs really well during the game. Claudio, then that first half performance, how did you see it go? Because I don't think we really got out of second gear, did we?
I don't think we got out of first gear. Just quickly regarding our three forwards, Asante, Wright, and Sims. I've got a dilemma here because you got three guys who obviously score goals. According to their records, they score goals, but they never look like they can score goals. Does that make any sense? I never feel any of them look deadly in front of goal. I can't work it out. I know they've got a track record and it's pretty good. It's one of the best in the league, but I think it still should be better with the amount of chances we create. And I never think. I mean, the opposition always say, "Oh, you got Hadji, Wright, and Sims, and Asante when he's fit. They're really dangerous." But maybe because we see them week in, week out, I don't really think they are that dangerous as forwards. I think they're very good, but I don't class them as dangerous. And there was a header in the first half, which we said, I don't know where it was away from home, where Hadji Wright, was it Preston at the far post where he didn't head it in?
Yeah.
You're saying if that was Sims, that goes in. Well, there was a chance in the first half where you'd expect Eddie to put that away from there, and it's got to go in.
Some say it was a great save, but really he should score, shouldn't he?
He should. And the annoying thing is that where it rebounds and then EMC smacks it and Redoni clears it off the line for him.
Yeah.
She's like, but yeah, the first half game, I thought we were slow. I mean, Swansea, me and Luke were chatting about this all game, saying, why aren't we closing anybody down? We seem to be really slow. They'd obviously had too many, slices of turkey the day before because we were slow the first 20 minutes. And bizarrely, take the lead when really I fancied Swansea to go in front. I wasn't. It was a bit of a shaky first half. It wasn't great. And I know we've come out with a win in the end, but sometimes you have to look at it and be honest and say, it does need to be better. And I know we've said in the past, if we come up against anybody else, things we're top of the league. So we have played everybody else, haven't we now?
Yeah, halfway stage now. Yeah.
We're obviously doing enough to win games, which is great. And if it carries on like this with the gap to third place, and tomorrow night is an example where if we win that one, we are flying. We could actually be promoted before Easter at this rate, which is incredible. We've just got to keep the game. We've got to keep it going, basically. And if it means sneaking 1-0 wins on the back of a performance that could be better, I'm all happy for it. But the first half was a bit, I don't care what anybody says, was too slow. And it was great to hear Frank come out and say that exactly the same, that it wasn't good enough. So he gave a good old blasting at half time, I think, because the start of the second half was way better.
Yeah. Okay, Vicky, I mean, we did get a goal, and it's that Manny MC again, wasn't it? Seems to pop up important goals. That's I think that's 3 in 3, isn't it, Jack? For MC? Yeah. I'm sure it was. Yeah, I thought I got that stat right. But yeah, and another good goal, wasn't it? Took it well.
Oh, cracking goals! Spinning on the turn, without really checking where the goal is. Obviously, knew his positioning. So cracking goal, and obviously another forward player that's currently in form from a goals perspective, which is what's been good all season. Like, we've sort of moved around, haven't we, all season? Like, you've had a little spell when Asante was scoring, then you had a little spell when Sims was scoring, then you got a little spell where EMC is scoring. So there's always somebody that's informed to put the goals away, and I think.
Go on. So I was just about to say, it come from a long throw again, didn't it?
Yeah. So that's positive as well. I was going to say about what Claudio said about just a bit slow starting. I guess the trouble is we got spoiled early on in the season with some like really fast play, and realistically, that's not going to happen every game of the season, is it? And at some point, you have to just work out how to grind out results. And we've had a really tough spell with like injuries and sickness, and I think probably some of that's catching up a bit. But what we're doing well now is just grinding out those 1-0 victories and getting the points on the board. And that's in previous seasons, that's how you see teams. I don't know, we've watched Burnley or Leeds, and you're thinking, how did they get points there? And that's what we're doing, and that's the main thing at the moment. Like the good football can come back again, but at the moment it's all just about getting points, isn't it, and securing our place at the top of the table. So yeah, I mean, it'd be nicer if it had been a bit quicker and a bit more entertaining in the first half, but ultimately it's another great result, isn't it? So all positive.
Yeah. Jack, how did you see that first half? I mean, we're not always going to get goals galore, are we, in every game? As we have said, there's going to be games where we're going to have to scramble 1-0 wins, and we've done that the last few matches after having a great start to the season. So, my mind, I mean, good teams, if you don't play particularly well and still pick up maximum points, it's good. It's brilliant, I think.
Yeah, I completely agree with the rest of the team, to be honest. That, Claudio said we didn't get out of first gear. We've talked about the strikers. Vicky said the right people are scoring at the right times. Efron, actually, I've got some stats for you later, but he's actually met last season's goal tally already. He's got 6 goals. He only scored 6 for us last season. So he's equaled his last season's tally. That's only a good thing. We are halfway through the season. And like you say, we're a results-based industry, aren't we? It doesn't matter how we play. This time of year, games are coming thick and fast. We need to get points. And that's exactly what we've been doing. We had the issue at Southampton. We went down to 10 men. They equalised quite quickly, but we held on to a point. And we did hold on. Yes, it was a very, very good performance, but we didn't threaten them once after that. We held on. Yesterday, we managed to get our noses in front. They looked like they could have scored a couple. There was a couple in the first half. They blazed over the bar. The second one where he was 3-4 yards out and somehow tipped it over the bar. I think that would have been easier to score than miss, if I'm honest. But the best bit that I love, we've got 51 points and 54 amazing. Goals at the halfway stage. We are only the second team in championship history ever. I know that's only like 24 years. I don't actually know if this record goes back further for the second division ever, but we are the second team ever to have 50 plus points and goals at the halfway stage. That was Wolverhampton Wanderers in 07-08, I think it was. And I believe they went on to walk the league.
Wow.
So it only bodes well, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's fantastic.
The thing for me, which is really good, and I don't know about you guys, but I think, we went to Ipswich. As Frank keeps saying, it wasn't really a 3-0 defeat because we played quite well in parts of that game, and maybe they should have been down to 10. But the way we've come back, we've drawn 2 games away from home, and we've won 2 games at home. That is massive. And like you said, Vicky, we've had injuries, we've had illness. Milan's played the last 2 games. He's been ill. He's run off at the end of the game, and he's throwing up or whatever he's doing. To be able to do that with the size of squad that we have, I think is absolutely unbelievable. And yes, we probably did start slow in that game, but like I think Vicky, you said it, we've been spoiled at the start of the season. We're at 51 points. We've lost 2 games all season. Both of them games are away from home. And I said to you guys when we lost to Ipswich, I said to you, if we can go the next 19 games and lose 2 games, you'll take that all season, wouldn't you? And you would. Yeah. And so if you go now the next half of the season and lose 2 games, well, we're up, aren't we?
Yeah,
we're up before we even know it. And yes, okay, we started slow, but I think we got into that first half pretty well. We started to grow into it, and we were starting to put the pressure on. And, the way EMC took that goal was great. But Sims could have had one. What a great save from the keeper. I mean, I thought that, you know, when you watch it back on the highlights, it looked like it went over the line, but obviously they got goal line technology, so it didn't. But the way the keeper saved that, and then the rebound, I think, got blocked, didn't it? I think can't remember. I think it was EMC that hit it, and it got blocked. So, you know, there was a good few chances in that first half where we could have possibly gone in at 2-0 up. But the way we got the goal just before half time, it was like Southampton again. We got the goal at Southampton that way. And, you know, I jokingly said to everyone around me, you watch Bidwell come out second half, take someone out and get sent off. Because we scored, because the goal was virtually identical time, weren't it, as Southampton? But, you know, and then, you know, you're going to have a bit of pressure. You're at home, you're still going to have pressure from the away team. They're still going to, people have worked it out now. Teams have worked it out. They can't sit back against us. Teams have got to come at us. Look what West Brom did. They scored 2 quick goals against us. They went 2-0 up, but we come out of that and we won it. If we win every home game now 1-0 and we draw the away games, we've done it. And the character in that team, to have Milan playing and he's not very well, Torp must still not be very well either, but he had a great game. But Matty Grimes on Saturday, oh my days. He was up for that, weren't he? He was up for that on Matty Grimes on Saturday. Well, not Saturday, Boxing Day. He was well up for it. And it was it was absolutely brilliant. And, you know, if we get out of second gear, if we don't get out of second gear and we win 1-0, bring it on. Bring it on.
The interesting thing is that yet again we've pulled away from the other teams, which is remarkable. Yeah. I think they're going to win us. Apart from us getting the points, they're helping us out big time at the minute below us. But the Middlesbrough fans said they're second in the table. They said that's one of the worst games of football they've seen in years, and yet they're second in the table, which is incredible, isn't it? You think, you know, it is fascinating to see what's going on below us. I mean, it is. I am looking down like that now, down to third place. It's like,
there is a bit of
it could be 16 points tomorrow night. You could be on here tomorrow night on the after game show, and we could be 16 points clear of third.
It's bonkers.
Be incredible, that
and the thing is, Miles, we don't have to push it either now.
No.
Ipswich have to get a result. They can't afford to lose, really.
No.
So it's.
I said all we got to do tomorrow is don't lose. That's it. You just got to draw tomorrow.
And look, I think that's what Frank will be saying to the team. Don't lose this game, you know. Make sure we don't lose it. You know, if we can't win it, don't lose it. But
he wants to win every game. He even said last week, didn't he, on Sky? I think it was on Sky. He turned around, he says, right, we've had that moment where we've got to the top of the table and everyone wanted us to win. Now everyone is expecting us to win. And now this is a different mentality in the training camp. He now has to try and coach those players differently to what he did at the start of the season to get them mentally in the frame of mind to go out there knowing that this can be done. You know, they've got to go out there now believing this is on. This is real. This is ridiculous. It is absolutely real. And these players they've got, surely they can feel it. They can feel it, surely. I mean, Milan, his attitude is just phenomenal. His attitude is just brilliant, isn't it? It really is. You know, and listen, this is on. And I don't care that we won 1-0 the other day. I'll take 1-0 tomorrow night, please. All day long. I'll take it. I'll take 1-1. I'll take 0-0 tomorrow. I'll take 5-5 tomorrow. I'll take 6.
I don't think I could handle 5-5.
Can I just add as well? At this point last season, after 23 games, Leeds 48 points, Burnley 47 points. Leeds had lost 3, Burnley had lost 2 but drawn 8. We've only drawn 6, and they were actually second and third in the table. Sheffield United were top with 50 points at the halfway point last season. They had a big fall off.
Yeah. Well, the key is the third place, isn't it? That's the key here. It's the gap. It is the gap, which is astonishing. And I keep
It
looking
is.
at it thinking, is this a misspelling or something? What's going on here? I can't believe they're that far behind. And we keep getting told that how great Ipswich are, how great Southampton are, Leicester, how brilliant. Leicester are absolute pony at the minute. They're terrible, and I just think we're probably better than we think we are, because we are supporting our club and we don't want to say it often enough. But, and I know it was a bit slow on against Swansea, but it's still good enough to beat what we're playing against, basically. You only have to be slightly better than the opposition in this league to get wins.
Yeah.
There's not much in it in these games at all now.
I mean, when you look at
the
likes of... Sorry, Vic, go on.
So I was going to say to Claudia then, I think a lot of that comes probably from the stability in our squad now, doesn't it? The fact that a lot of these players have played together for quite a while now. And so that's an advantage over virtually every other team in the league, that ability to know your teammates so well that sort of 2 or 3 seasons now, a lot of them have been playing together, and that stands for a lot. And I think we all know that in this league anybody can beat anybody on their day, and I think, which is probably a bit of a cliche, and I'm going to get in trouble, but because I've seen cliche man in the comments, he's watching. But it's about fine margin sometimes, isn't it? And that ability to have a squad of players that know each other so well is an added bonus that no other team can really match, and I think that's really helping us out. And so things like Boxing Day, where you've got a lot of games, you've got a few players that aren't well, you've got players coming back from injury. It's a tough game against an opposition that we haven't got a particularly good record against. But what you've got is that team unity that's just getting the job done, and just that's an amazing thing to see. And I think you're right. We probably are overly critical of our own team because we've never been in this position. We don't. This is just weird for most of us, isn't it? Like this being top of the table, being the team for everyone to catch, isn't what any of us are really used to.
No, we're not.
And also, Swansea, since it was the guy who was there before, who was there for years, and was absolutely useless when he got to Southampton, the manager. Since he was there,
Russell Martin.
Yeah, they've always been possession based, so that's how they played on Saturday. They still, they do it through the academy, don't they? It's how they play. So they were going to have a lot of the ball, and you got to deal with it. My problem is I didn't think we were getting up to them close enough in the first half, and that probably is down to the fact they're all knackered because they don't look 100% fit. Half the team do look a bit under the weather. You can see it. The energy wasn't there to start with. But luckily, in that second half, that first 15 minutes, I thought Radoni was splendid. He was absolutely brilliant. First 15, second half.
Is that the 10th clean sheet of the season as well?
Jack, you should know that.
Checking.
Wishworth has got 9, so that must be 9 in the league.
9, yeah, 9.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's nothing less than brilliant at the minute.
Yeah.
So
it's outstanding. I mean, we've got loads of comments, Claudio.
Oh yeah, here we go.
So let's
bear with me. Yeah. Bonsoir. Good evening, everyone, and don't we deserve a happy new year from Gavster Legrand? Uncle Jonga. Might see him in the car park tomorrow. Grimes was like a peak Michael Carrick against Swansea. He was everywhere, covered every blade of grass, broke up the play, started transitions. If only Matty could perfect his shooting ability. We can't have everything, can we? He wouldn't be at Coventry if he could do that. Mark Patman, evening guys. What a great win against Swansea to go 8 points clear at the top of the league. We take our revenge on Ipswich tomorrow night. Come on, Cov. What I love about this is the second tier were licking their lips because they thought we were going to get caught over Christmas.
Yeah.
And they talk about our game with about 5 minutes left of this show. They're so bitter. It's ridiculous. They're like 2 little kids, aren't they? Anyway, Paul Stratton says, we keep getting the job done, even well below our best. When the bugger's gone, we're all fit. We can achieve anything. We don't need to win tomorrow in what I think will be a tough home game. It should be very tough. Although, they couldn't beat Millwall, and we're far better than Millwall. Scott CCFC, Brown Sword. Hello, guys. Hope you're all great. So I hope you had a great Xmas, and hopefully we get 3 points tomorrow with hopefully a full strength squad. And this is from Mark Reed. City are doing what champions do. 1-0 will do every time. It certainly will. And with our keeper, 1-0 is always going to be a great result. Gordon Tullier, why did they not play Brown instead of Bidwell? He left a big gap at the back because he was too slow to get back. In fairness, that guy was rapid.
He was very quick.
He was, wasn't he? Superfan number 1. Oh, wow. There's some contenders on here for that one. My wish for 2026, the cult of the show off fan comes to an end. Fans who film themselves doing OTT celebrations and making it about them, like that bloke with the beard, make it stop. Okay. Just checking. Miles hasn't got a beard, has he? No.
He shaved it off now.
I'm dreading having me tattoo.
Well, I'm telling you now, if we get promoted, it's going to treble the amount of people doing media stuff. The Polski 4978. I like us to sell Sims, all right. If we get an offer that is good, and try and buy Sargent. Yeah, well,
I've gone off the idea of Sargent now.
Yeah, Mark Rainbow.
You know
Happy
what,
Christmas.
Claudia, you said
Sorry.
earlier about the 3 strikers.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was going to say, because you said earlier about the 3 strikers that we don't feel like any of them are dangerous enough or whatever. I think that the problem we've got with Sargent is that people only see the extended highlights of him. If he came, people would be saying the same about him as we say about the players we've got. It's just a swap for. I mean, his stats are no better particularly, and especially in recent seasons. And if you talk to Norwich fans, they moan about some of his play and things. So it's one of these things. The strikers at your club, you always compared to strikers that you only score goals, you don't see the 90 minutes of play. And yeah, just interesting.
He also plays less matches than Ben Sheaf. He has played less matches than Ben Sheaf over the last 3.5 seasons, and we all said, "Thank God he's gone. He couldn't get a game." So Sargent's going to play less.
Yeah, I've gone off the idea. Definitely gone off the idea. I think now we're top of the league. We need a Premier League striker coming in.
Happy Christmas, says Mark Rainbow. Top of the league and probably safe from relegation with 51 points. Santa's sack has been bulging for us, Sky Blue supporters, this Christmas.
Hey, family show.
Hey, Mark. You can't start saying stuff like that on there. Okay. Ralph Williams. Let's get Ralph. What's going on here? Come on, get the comments up.
It's up.
It was there.
Sorry, needed all 3 great points against Swansea tomorrow, and we should be very happy. The problem is, on these comments, the delete bit is too close to the actual comment, so it's I'm close to banning people accidentally. Right, great result against Swansea. We can't play outstanding every game, but so glad we got the points. Wayne Brewington says, is somebody knocking off these messages as I read them? Think Wright will score a couple tomorrow. The goal drought will come to an end. It's no goals in 10, is it? Is that right?
Yeah, it must be something like that.
October.
I predict we are going to finish this year with a resounding win over Ipswich. That would be nice, wouldn't it?
We've got to do it for Whitey and Shannon.
Are they coming up, are they?
Yeah, we've got to do it for them because they have to put up with all them Ipswich fans day in, day out.
Yeah.
Ian Small reckons we should go for Tyree George and Dan Neil.
Well, I've heard them rumours, yeah.
That's Ken's at least 2 that are coming in.
I've heard I've heard the rumours.
This is interesting. I mean, I've not even heard this. 13 million bid. We've had and the fact you can't bid yet because the transfer market's not open. So I can't say that's even possible.
So that's not true then. Yeah.
I think he might get in trouble if he did that. Robert Hill says Sims was in form and scoring. Lampard then put Wright straight back in the starting lineup. I thought it was cardinal sin to mess with the strikers that's scoring. King Carlos says the results that matters. Claudio at this stage of the season, correct. And Carl Coleman says, evening guys, looking forward to a win tomorrow. Wayne Brewerton, question for Miles. We are top of the league in the new year. Are them signings coming in January?
Yes.
Oh, that's what you mean, yes.
Yes.
Cliche man. Let's get him up, shall we? I expected too many mince pies, but I'm going to give you a yellow card for too many slices of turkey, Claudio. Damn, he heard me. I was trying to get get away with it. This is from 09 Sky Blues. Of any club that gets 30k plus in the championship, I can't think of any one club who deserves it more than Coventry City. It's fantastic, isn't it? Seeing it full now, the Rico. King Carlos
balcony, that balcony looked ace.
Yeah, it's much better, wasn't
it? Nice to see that full, isn't it, for a change? Because that was the part that looked bad on TV, didn't it, when we seen it?
Although before half time, and as the second half started, that side of the ground, it looked like there was a fire drill because it was all blue seats. Everyone was not back in their seats, and I was saying to everyone, "Oh, let's score a goal now," and then they'll all come running out because they've missed the goal.
It was like in the first half. Half our fans missed the first half goal because they'd all gone down for a pint and a pie.
Well, no,
they won't free this week either.
Ryan Matthew J says another record broken. It's been a very long time since we beat Swansea at home. Frank did it first time of asking. King Carlos in January. I agree with Claudio with getting a new striker in like Adam Armstrong, someone different up front. And Mark O'Sullivan. I heard that Thiago Silva was wanting to come back to England. He would be a wonderful buy, knowing Frank was a Chelsea player. I know it's out there figure, but he would be great fix the team. Us and about 23 other clubs might be looking at him then if he wants to come back. So the problem is, all right, I'm going to say if we go up. I'm not going to be presumptuous about it. There are already 8 or 9 clubs in Europe next season, and there'll be a lot of players who want to play for those teams purely because they're in the European competitions. So we'll be left with what's left, I think.
Yeah,
that's the only issue. Mark Rainbow says, interestingly, in the 4 games since we last played Ipswich, we've done better than them. Yes, this is what we're saying. It is bizarre that we just seem to pull away, and yet we think we're not playing that well. It's crazy, isn't it? We get told by the experts that there's all these fantastic teams below us. Dave Sports Photos. I agree with Claudio. Sims, BTA and Wright don't look dangerous. I don't think they're particularly good footballers. EMC, on the other hand, is the jewel in our crown. Only genuinely class player. No doubts. Second is Jamie Allen, isn't it, Dave?
Whoa. He's not the only class player. All right. If they decide to put the ball out to the right-hand side for some of the game, it might help little Sakamoto because he can put in a lovely little cross. So, unbelievable.
So someone's put here, it's interesting, 24 points to equal last season's point tally. That's Oxford's form. So it just shows you we need to, if we are just average, we're still getting promoted now. It's crazy. I think we have been so good in the first half of the season that we are now in danger of being super critical. Every team in the league would love to swap places with us, says Frank Wood. Certainly would.
Jordan Williams. Wow.
This is from Wayne Rankin. So I just checked the statistics for goals conceded and found out that Coventry is joint second with Ipswich when it comes to goals conceded, 23. Right behind Stoke and Derby have conceded 2 less. I'm absolutely amazed.
Do you want to say that again? Do you want to say that word again?
Which bit?
The beginning bit. Statistics.
I just can't believe Derby have only let in 21 goals.
They're not. They've let in 31. I think that's just a slight mistake.
Oh, I'm saying because
Stoke have let in 21, Derby 31. It does look like a 2. I'll give him that.
because every time we watch Derby, it always looks like they're letting goals in. Ryan Matthew J says Benjamin Bloom said something like Coventry could drop off by 50% for the second half of the season and they'd still have enough to get automatics. We're just having an insane season. It's mental. It certainly is. Dave Sportsfan says, not a good save, Miles. The ball had hardly any forward momentum. He headed it down, almost hit his own feet. I'll tell you what, I'd love to sit next to Dave in the ground. It'd be great.
He did everything. Sims did everything right with that header. Headed it down. And the keeper's parried it out.
I think what he's saying is he headed it down and he could have kicked it in. Ice Chips, let's not be negative. Only team in the top 5 that won. Swansea smothered the midfield, but we're toothless up top. So, well, okay. Ice Chips says, let's not be negative. And then you say, only team in the top 5 that won. Swansea smothered the midfield, but we were toothless up top. So you're being negative, aren't you, there? So that's exactly what we're saying.
There's some interesting games tomorrow night as well. So if we get maximum points tomorrow night, things could be really looking even stronger.
Oh, don't tease me like that. The Dynamite 760. Happy Christmas and New Year to you all. We can't be on it every game, but the lads are doing enough at the moment. We've had an unbelievable first half of the season, and we warm up the second half. Nick from Birmingham, win all our home games. Draw all our away games and we're up. Thanks for that wisdom, Miles. There you go. So yeah, well, you know.
I thought you'd have a better Brummie accent than that living out where you live.
Hey.
Yeah, it's right on the border there, aren't you?
Yeah, I know, exactly.
Posh Brummies around here.
Although he ain't very good at accent. He ain't very good at impressions, though, is he?
We went out for a meal last
night.
We went out for a meal last night because of Caroline's birthday. And you can definitely tell there's some people from Chelmsley Wood in the restaurant. Gosh, that is some accent. That is. Yeah.
How's it go, Claudio?
Give us an example.
Just yum yums.
How's it go?
No,
how's it go?
All right. It's like that.
All right.
Got it.
Put on me fish and chips, please. Oh, shut up.
Oh, you didn't tell me you only took us as a chippy. Is that where you took her?
Yeah. She was allowed mayonnaise.
Oh.
They charge for them packets these days, don't they, in a chippy?
I thought you'd be a bit more exotic than that.
Yeah, he said that'd be 20p. I says it's all right. She doesn't want it. Paul Stratton says none of them know about the bug in the squad. What level of fitness we are at would explain our level of performance in recent games. Good teams get the job done, and we are doing that. I think I'll read one more, Ken, and go back to you. Steve Curry says the goals have dried up a little. We are tight now at the back and not conceding. Winning 1-0 every game is fine. The goals will come. Teams are very wary of our attacking prowess. And in all fairness, we probably should have had 3 goals at least on Swansea.
Can I just say thank you to Jordan Williams, who's just donated $19.99 to the channel. Thank you very much, Jordan. Appreciate all the hours you've all put in. Makes this such a great channel this year. PUSB. Cheers, Jordan.
Thank you, Jordan. Yeah, appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Is that about it, or you want to carry on?
I'll read this one out. Evening SBTV gang. This is Salop CCFC. Watched the Villa game with the wife yesterday after she said, "See, we also play crap, but get the result in the end, just like we are doing. Stop worrying." Yeah.
All right. Let's just talk briefly about the second half. There wasn't a lot happening in the second half. We didn't really. We had a few chances, obviously, but it wasn't a fantastic second half. But we ground out the result, didn't we, Miles? And we got the 3 points in the end, and we deserved it.
Yeah, definitely. And do you know what I thought was very one of my positive things to come out of that second half yesterday? Was Milan went off a little bit early, didn't he? Because he weren't very well. And Kessler Hayden came on and he made a fantastic run into the box. Put the ball across the box. It came to EMC. And why EMC didn't just, I don't know, put a side boot on it, and if it goes in, it goes in. If it don't, it don't. But he's controlled it and tried to pass it to try and get someone else onto the ball, and you're like, oh,
he seemed to have an age, didn't he? He seemed to have age.
Yeah, and it was like all he had to do probably was just to stick his foot out, hit the side of his foot, and it's nestling into the net. I don't know, but I mean, it's look, it was one of them, wasn't it, where, as we were saying about the first half, we didn't really get out of second gear, and I think we just did enough, and it was like as if the players were probably thinking about tomorrow night's game. We made a few changes, and you know, it was sort of like as if they thought the job was done. Although it's never done, is it, when you're 1-0 up? It's never done when you're 3-0 up, to be honest. We know that against Swansea because we were 3-0 up and we drew 3-3. So, you know, it was one of those. We grounded it out. They had a few chances, didn't they? I mean, they had a sitter, didn't they? What was that one that went over the bar? Oh my days! You're down the other end. You were down the other end, and you seen him sky that over the bar, and we all looked at each other and went, "Phew, blimey, that was close." You know, and those are the sort of things, if you're coming up against the likes of Ipswich, Southampton, you know, teams like that have got good finishers, that is probably nestling into the roof of the net. So, you know, we probably did sort of scrape that in the second half. But then again, we created chances in the second half. There was some lovely football being played. Josh Eccles, for me, he kept a ball in on the sideline. It was going out. He stretched as far as he could to keep it in. And just things like that, the attitude, you know, he's come on, his attitude that it was, I'm gonna win this ball. I'm not gonna let it go out. I'm gonna win this ball. I'm gonna get us forward. I'm gonna get us up the pitch. I'm gonna try and get us a second goal. And that's what we love about this team. And they worked hard. They worked as a team. Even the players that come on as subs, they did their bit. And, you know, we grounded it out and we got it.
Yeah, I mean, we always cry for that second goal, don't we, so we can kill the game off, so we can all relax a little bit. But the longer it stayed 1-0, you always had it in the back of your mind that they could snatch it, and that's what we didn't want. And for us to do that and keep another clean sheet was fantastic. You know, and that will give them a lot of confidence, I think, going into the Ipswich game as well, that we managed to keep another clean sheet, especially with Bobby Thomas still out. And I mean, I thought Claudio, the Wolf, did okay, didn't he? In the back?
Well, he's a good player. He's a good player, and especially at the Championship level. And he served Ipswich well, didn't he, when he had those 2 back-to-back promotions? So I wasn't overly concerned with our defence yesterday. Whenever we played Boxing Day. When I saw the lineup, I thought that's fine, isn't it? And we just miss Bobby Thomas's threat, don't we? From corners, I think.
Yeah, from set pieces. Yeah.
He's the one who's been getting on a lot of stuff. You know, he is dangerous, and hopefully be back tomorrow.
Just to caveat that, Claudio, it was actually the Wolf that won the header in the lower.
I was just about to say that, Jack. Wasn't it Wolf that headed on?
Yes, it was. So as much as I do 100% agree, we missed the threat of Bobby, because Bobby probably would have got a nod on that towards goal, but it was Wolfenden that flicked it on. So he still can be dangerous in the box. We've only seen him for 3 games, don't forget. So we don't really we don't really know what he can do.
He's a good player. The trouble is we've got some of our fan base expect players to come in out of the cold and be world beaters.
Yeah.
As if these guys don't get minutes. They don't get minutes unless they're on the pitch. There's no reserve teams anymore. They don't play under 23s. You know, that's why Latti's performance the other week was extraordinary, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, what he played, because nobody on earth expected him to play like he did, but he did. So that was fantastic. If that was a home game, they'd have given man of the match to somebody else, wouldn't they? Because I don't know I still don't understand who gives out the man of the matches.
I was going to talk about man of the match because it was Mr. Grimes got it. Now, it is the first time he's received it, which I was quite shocked at, because in the games he's played this season, he's been outstanding in most games. But I did probably agree with you, and I thought EMC should have got it, but he didn't. Obviously, I think it's the sponsors that choose it, isn't it? Initially.
Yeah, well, it's funny. Martin Grimes got it because I got Luca a shirt for Christmas, the blue one, and went into the club shop and requested God knows how many players to have on the back of it, and then they went, "Sorry, you can't have anybody with an A, an O, or a number 1."
That was a bit like when we were trying to get your shirt with Claudio on the back. We had no O's and no C's.
So,
I had to go to 2 different shops to get it.
So we had to go down the list of players. Luckily, number 6 came up quite quickly. So we had Grimes and number 6 on the back. But
I think
top player.
I think Matty Grimes' performance, you can't take that away from him. Yes, EMC had a good game, but Grimes' performance on Saturday, he was up for that from as soon as we kicked off. Grimesy was on it.
Collectively, he deserves a man of the match award this season somewhere along the line, because he's been man of the match in about half our games as far as I'm concerned. Yeah,
and I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it when Brian Roberts said up in the lounge, "Oh, this is the first time you've been." I was thinking about it. I thought, well, yeah, it is. It's the first time he's had it up there, and I was quite shocked, really, the amount of good games he's played for us. Because he's very rarely has a bad game, isn't it?
The trouble is, he's not the engine, isn't he? He's that cog that just has put our team all together. But you'll find that the ones that get man of the match will be someone who scored a fancy goal or just something a bit exciting, whereas he's just consistently quality throughout the whole match and just gets it done right. And the trouble is that doesn't necessarily sort of stand out when you're trying to think who man of the match is. And like Claudio said, he definitely deserves one for the collective performances across the season. But he could have lost out again on Saturday to EMC easily. But he definitely deserves one. And I think, that we've spoken before, haven't we, about the addition that he's made to our squad and just that sort of final piece in the jigsaw. Even I don't know what Swansea fans. I mean, the amount of them that are coming on saying that they're glad that he's rubbish and he passes backwards and sideways. I don't know what they've been watching, because first of all, the stats show that wasn't the player they had there. So he might be doing a good job here, but he was always doing a good job there as well. So whether they're just bitter that he left or whether they're just watching a different game, I don't know, because that's not him at all. It's he's a sort of midfielder I think that pretty much any team in this league would want, and we're just lucky enough that we got him, and I think he's a massive part of why we're top of the league. So it's great.
I think with Grimes, the way Grimes plays is like, as you say, is the engine. But when you watch him and he goes down like he did at Southampton, and you all go, "Oh, please don't be injured. Please don't be injured." You're like,
Southampton game was really worried.
Yeah, it's like one of those, isn't it? But then you know the way he conducts himself on the pitch is fantastic. If you watch him, and then you watch when a decision goes against us, you know, like you always have a player that goes to the ref and he always moans at the ref. He goes to the ref, he has a moan, but then he sort of steadies himself a little bit so he doesn't get carded or anything like that. He still gets into the referee's face, but he sort of backs away from it, but still gets his point across. And I think that's the thing about Matty Grimes. He's such a professional. He really is. He's a real good ambassador for the game. And, you know, and the way the Swansea fans cope with him when he come over for that corner, and all the other side of the ground stuck up for him, and, you know, they were giving it the big and back to the Swansea fans. I thought it was absolutely superb.
Saying that he's top of the league, that shut him up, didn't it?
Yeah. Matty Grimes top of the league, you know, at the end of the day.
I thought it was a bit narrow-minded with Swansea fans, because the service he gave them as well, because he was a good player for them and he gave them good service. So it was a bit disappointing to hear them booing him, really. You know, and even Lampard said that after the match as well, didn't he? He was disappointed with the Swansea fans' reaction when he came over to take that corner.
That's just football fans. But we do it to other players, our own.
Yeah, we do it. We can't. So. Yeah.
I just thought that the whole game was weird for me on Boxing Day, because I thought the first half we were passive, yet we score a goal. The second half, I thought we started really aggressively, looked like we were going to score more goals, and in fact, I felt like we might concede one. So it's all like, because we sat back the first half, hit them on the break, and we get a goal, brilliant. Second half, we pushed forward. We were a lot higher up the pitch that first 15 minutes. And it's almost like you're playing into Swansea's hands then, because they were breaking quite quickly. Luckily, we've got the best keeper we've had up here for years.
Yeah.
And I'd hate to think where we'd be in the league if he's not around, because that guy is the first signing we have to make if we get promoted. We've got to sign him.
You're confident on a one-on-one.
Or the equivalent of, we have to have that type of keeper. Because I've watched loads.
Don't get attached to a lone player.
Well, all of a sudden, I've started taking an interest in match of the day again, just to see who might be playing next season. It doesn't matter how crap the teams are; they've all got decent goalkeepers. That's what I've noticed.
Well, we won't be playing Wolves. Still ain't got 3 points.
Brighton must have two. Well, I should say Brighton must have two great keepers.
They have.
He can't get into the team.
Yeah,
because he's been superb. On a one-on-one counter attack, you're quite confident he could save it, can't you? Really, you think, oh no, hold on,
it's like in the second half, isn't it? You know, when they blazed over the bar and you say, no, it's easier to score. But when you watch that, Wishworth was there. He was like in the right spot for that. So there's a good chance that even if he'd got it on target, Wishworth would have saved that. I mean, I don't know how he didn't get it on target, but when you watch Wishworth's movement as that's coming in, he's right in the right spot to save that if it actually gets on target. So, just quality.
Yeah,
he is quality.
Claudia, got some more comments because there's quite a few coming in, isn't there? We'll catch up on them.
I was just you would say that just as I switched off the comments. Dave Sports Photo says, "How about? Oh, let's just move Miles there. Oh, where we going? It'd be great.
Moved him here.
No. It's just great if there was a system where it just doesn't move until you move it, but it does move. Why are we playing at 6? Says Salem CCFC. It's purely for the television. Have we missed a trick with Patrick Bamford? Says Mark Turnbull. No. I feel he played for 24 minutes the other night against Wrexham, scored 2 goals, never saw him again. They lost. So that's a terrible defeat.
It was.
It was a game where you want both teams to lose, isn't it, really?
It's funny.
It's his little face, Wilder's little face, not smiling loudly. God, it's just horrible.
Can you do a Chris Wilder impression as well?
He's just done it.
He's always crying, isn't he? It's always somebody else's fault. You know, your fault, mate. You're winning 3-1, you lost 5-3. Get over it. Keith Guppy. This season's championship is not as strong as it's been in the last few years. I'm glad we're taking advantage of that. PUSB. I think it's the same every year. I don't think it changes much. Couldn't concentrate in the second half. Miles was moaning about food all the time, says Keno Tomo.
Well, I'll tell you the story behind that, shall I?
Oh,
I'll tell you the story, right?
They ran out of food.
No.
I actually had to pay for my pie. Jack got one for free the other week.
So if you're with a family member at a football match and your family member goes to the bar to go and get something to eat or something to drink, out of respect, you'd turn around to your father, wouldn't you, and say, Dad, I'm just going down to the canteen or the cafe, whatever. Anyway, the bar, right?
And Will didn't do that.
Oval or coffee. Would you like anything to eat? And Amy's with him. She goes as well. Father-in-law, hello. Yeah, would you like a hot drink or anything? Oh, no. They both goes off, comes back with their food and their drink. And I'm like, where's mine? Well, you didn't say you made one. You didn't bloody ask me. Every time Will and I go to the bar or whatever, when I'm at a game, I say to Will, would you like anything? Always. Them two goes off to the bar, didn't even offer me a bottle.
Well, you know what to do next time, don't you?
Well, I ain't offering him one. Simple as.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. So that's what happened. Kids. Don't have kids. If anyone's watching, don't have kids. Worst thing you could do in your life.
Dave Sports Photos. Funny you should mention Jamie Allen Claudio. Apparently, his agent is going around the lower leagues showing his highlights reels. It's on YouTube if you've got a spare 15 seconds. That's a bit harsh.
Oh, harsh, Dave.
Kevin
That is
Turner,
harsh.
Day Sports Photos. How about you say something positive about Alan and our fringe players? There you are, yes. In the 10 games since we lost to Wrexham, we've only conceded 11 goals. That ain't bad. Come to think of the time we had only failed to score in 3 games all season. Madness, says Mark Rainbow. We are just tremendous, aren't we? I love Coventry City FC. Ralph
Wait till
Wiggins.
tomorrow night show.
Just in case you don't know, the goals dried up when we dropped Sims and put Wright in. Bidwell had a good winger against him, but did a great job and was very strong and defended well. PUSB.
The wheels will come off tomorrow night and you lot will be all grumpy.
And Mark King says, no, it's not Mark, is it? I keep saying Mark King, as in the bass player level 42, but it's Martin, isn't it? Wolfenden, solid, not flashy, but seems to be more situationally aware than Thomas. That's a fancy word there. Paul Stratton, Ipswich will treat this game as a cup final, as they did in the previous games. Think this will definitely be our hardest home game. They have to win, whereas we don't. Bring it on. The problem with that is we know we don't have to push for it now. We can just go for a draw. But can you imagine what the crowds can be like if we just sit back the whole 90 minutes and do nothing?
Yeah, I don't think that'll happen.
Stink the place out to a 0-0.
I think there'll be plenty of goals tomorrow. Yeah.
This is from Ryan Matthew J. Grimes said this was the best team he's ever been in. Swansea fans didn't like that at all. Ah, well, there you go. That's probably what it is. It's correct, really, because apart from the City, yeah, I mean, you got to live in Swansea as well, which has got to be. Imagine that. Half Coleman, the subs. Have been,
Is it raining?
Yeah, the subs have been the difference in this season. The fringe players have all stood up and played well. I thought Eccles was excellent when he came on. Absolutely excellent, brilliant.
Yeah,
Lisa red card dodger Ollie Hurst won't be playing tomorrow. Yeah.
Yes, he's not playing, is he, tomorrow, apparently? So.
And how did Hayden? He's injured, isn't he? Is he injured?
Oh.
What is that?
How did Hayden Hackney not get a red card for that kicking out of that player in front of the referee?
That's incredible.
It was.
I know, that's unbelievable. That was.
The annoying thing as well is because the ref's given a yellow card as well, they can't even do anything retrospectively, can they? Because they can only deal with it if the ref hasn't seen it. So that's annoying. It'd be better if the ref just hadn't done anything.
Yeah, but how do you do that? How do you just crop someone like that and not? How is it not a red card? I just don't get it.
Well, it's violent conduct, isn't it? He's just kicked it. So how he explains that in his match report, I don't know.
Oh, he just apologised. Sorry,
yeah.
It wasn't.
Martin King says the big question for me is getting players in January. Are you one for going for players to get over the line this season, or two thinking ahead, going for a player you want to get promoted? I think you're going to touch on that after we speak about Ipswich, won't you, Ken?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got to shoot in a minute.
Oh.
Miles, need your score prediction if you're going to go shoot soon.
Yeah, I'm going to go in a minute. Do a couple more comments.
Keith says, is it just me who thinks Dovin could do just as good a job if he turns out we can't get Rushworth? He probably could. But I still think Rushworth's a better keeper. Wayne Ghost, I agree, Frank. That's why I said might depend if we can sign him. Oh, I just jumped. Sorry, I couldn't even know who he's talking about now. I'll read this one out. Since Wolfie has had a sensible haircut, his performances have improved. And now looking like the player we signed. Yes, it's all about the haircut, Cam. Definitely.
Definitely helps. Right, I'll give you my score prediction tomorrow night then, because I've got to shoot. I'm going to go tomorrow a 1-0 win.
Ooh. Excellent.
So there you go, 1-0 win. So hopefully we will get it over the line. And the other teams that are playing each other, I think second's playing fourth. So, and Millwall are playing Bristol.
Millwall have got Bristol,
yeah, Bristol. So, if those teams draw and we win, take it all day long. Happy days, because then the gap's even bigger. So, we'll take it into the new year. So, I'll wish everyone a happy new year, because we're in the show now, is there? So, happy new year, and happy new year to all the listeners and watchers and everything else. And have a good one. And
we'll see you in 2026.
See you next year.
Have a good time, mate. Yeah, enjoy.
Thanks a lot, mate.
See you later, guys. Have a good one. Ta-da.
Right, let's move on then to the Ipswich game then on Monday, which is tomorrow.
Well, just before you do, Ken, I've got a couple of bits.
Yeah, go on.
To show you. So I made this graphic the other week. I've corrected the Hull. I put win instead of draw, so I apologise for that, but I've corrected it for today. I've obviously now put in our win against Swansea at home and our draw against Southampton away. So this is how it looks. Let me just get rid of that banner for a sec. So we have got to play away from home 7 teams in the bottom half, only 4 in the top half, which is favourable. So, yeah, that's the only point I kind of want to make on this, because we spoke about it in a bit more depth the other week. But we have a more favourable home and away run for the second half of the season. And if I'm honest, the 2 places I fear us going, maybe 3, are the Hawthorns, Bramall Lane, and Carrow Road. And they're 3 teams that are quite poor this season and are all in the bottom half.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can sort out a couple of those poor records like we have done with Swansea at home, like we have done with Preston at home, and all these other games that we've sorted in the last year or so under Frank. That's just good news, isn't it, guys, from looking at this?
You look at the 4 draws. They're 4 credible draws they are away from home. That you'd probably say, actually, yeah, we'll take a draw at those places. Even Oxford away, I know that they're not doing great, but they're very tricky against the top teams. And they've beat a couple of top teams, haven't they? As well. And the 2 losses, I'm not surprised, to be honest, because we thought at the start of the season they'd probably lose there. The thing that stands out is that home form. The amount of wins that I know would have been a couple of losses, maybe 3 losses in there last season.
Yeah.
You know, so, and the draw against Norwich, we battered them.
Yeah.
It was a 1-1 battering, wasn't it?
But obviously, we've not played anyone yet. We've not played anyone yet, have we? So we won't know until we played anyone that's decent.
It's exceptional. It's without a shadow of a doubt. You can't. They're the only words you can use. History says it's an exceptional first half of the season.
And then this is what I want to mention, that we've scored 52 goals. Was it 52 goals? 51 goals. 54 goals so far this year. We scored 65 in the league last season, throughout the whole season. It may have been a couple more with own goals, but I've just created this little quick graphic. The top, 10, 11 players there are players that have played in both seasons. There's the Alan Patterson and below, who some have contributed goals and assists this season. Some did last season, but haven't this year so far. Wolfenden and Binks. Obviously, Wolf played this year. Binks hasn't. Raphael's played this year. Casey Palmer played last year. I know, sounds bizarre, but he got a goal at Bristol City early on in the league campaign before we sold him. And I just wanted to compare that. You'd think that we're halfway through this season, right? And last year, that's the full season. So the left-hand side is 23 matches. The right-hand side is possibly 46 matches for some of these players. You would expect that every player's metrics were higher last season in a full season compared to this year in half a season. Simply, green means they've performed better in that year and the blue is equal. So Thomas Asante has far outperformed last season, as has Torp, as has Sims, as has Sakamoto. No, not Sakamoto. Bobby Thomas in terms of his assists. Liam Kitchen's got a couple of goals. He didn't do that last year. And Van Ivak's already got more assists than he did last year. So it's already looking good that these players that were contributing last season, they've already made more contributions this season. So Sims, more goals and assists. Torp, more goals and assists. Mason Clark, the same amount of goals. Sakamoto, the same amount of goals as last season. And we are only halfway through. It's incredible the sort of numbers we are pointing out. Because we keep saying, oh, you know, we're bang average. Oh, we've only scored 1 goal in our last 4 games. We've only scored 4 in our last 5 games, whatever. But it doesn't matter because these players are performing far above where they were last season. Like I said earlier in the show, the fact that Efron has got 6 goals, I wouldn't have said at any point until the last 3 games that he's been in form. And there were patches last season where we would say he was unplayable, but he only got 6 goals and 6 assists. This year, he's got 6 goals and 3 assists, and he's been out injured. So the players are just vastly outperforming themselves, which is fantastic, basically. What do you guys make of the numbers that our players are putting out?
Yeah, I mean, incredible, really, when you think about it.
Not bad.
Is it right that we've only had one penalty? Is it right that we've only had 1 penalty, Jack, this season?
1 penalty in the league, 1 against Millwall in the EFL Cup that we lost. Yes.
Wow. To score 54 goals, and just one of them is a penalty in the league. That's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah. Who stands out for you then, Claudio, on that metric? Just on this alone.
I'm bamboozled by science here. They need you at the club in the data, part of the data team. Who stands out? Well, the thing is, Torp for me is come on leaps and bounds, I think, and obviously we've gone on about De Silva. I mean, it's. I thought he was no hope after last season that he could come in and do a job like he's doing this season, and the last, we've missed him. I mean, that the attacking side of our game. Maybe that's why we suffered a bit against Swansea. But he's more dynamic than Bidders going forward, isn't he?
Yeah.
And that it left EMC having to do a lot of work, I thought, on his own. Really, there was not a lot of backup. I think Udoni went over in the end, didn't he? And helped him out in the second half. It was a lot better. But there's, the two. I mean, I was critical of our defence for a long, long time, and I think the introduction of Matt Grimes into our squad has made that defence look so much better because they've got somebody in front of them. And I think the quote I made was, we're never going to get promoted with this defence. We need a leader. And that leader is Matt Grimes. It wasn't Ben Sheaf at the time because he didn't play enough games, unfortunately. Yeah. Might have been if he was fit all the time. But that guy, Matt Grimes, is a machine. I can't. And like Miles said, when he goes down injured, you think, oh no. And then he gets up. He's like, is it the Terminator? That's what we should call him. He's the one who re-heals, doesn't he?
Chumbawamba.
Yeah.
He get knocked down, get back up again.
Yeah, he's like the Wolverine. That's what he's like, isn't he? He gets an injury, he just seems to get up and get on with it. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it was my biggest concern if we had an injury, if he was ever out of the team.
If only he was 23, 24.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Vicky? I assume the Ellis Sims stats there stand out to you.
Yeah, well, I think probably with the strikers, Wright and Sims, we knew that they had goals in them from the season before that. So I guess I'm a bit like Claudio. I think Torp probably stands out a lot because he's really growing this season, hasn't he? And I think that's a massive improvement. And the EMC, I think that they're probably the two that like with Wright and Sims, you're sort of thinking hopefully they'll get back to that season where they both got really decent stats. And that's in their sort of locker. Whereas with Torp and EMC, it was more about hope that they'd continue to grow in that direction. And we hadn't yet seen if they could do that. And they have then achieved those figures this season. And that's been really positive and a massive part of why we're where we are. And interestingly, just talking about De Silva, I saw a stat the other day that said that he's the 4th in the league for progressive passes into the final third. Matt Grimes is second, I think. I can't remember who was first and third of the teams. But so we've got 2 players in the top 4 for progressive passes in the final third, and one of them was De Silva, which it's just funny how, like, if someone had asked me who that was, I would not have predicted him. But it probably goes to show how much he's improved this season and what he's had at his game as well. So yeah, it's always positive, isn't it? Which is great.
For me, I agree with Torp. I think Torp, for me, he's been outstanding this season, and he can play at a higher level. If we do go up eventually, he is one of the players I think will relish playing in a higher level. Torp, him, Matty Grimes, Rodoni, them sort of players will relish playing at a higher level, because you can just tell it. You can tell the way that they play week in, week out, that they are a level above everybody else. When Rodoni's fit, of course, he's not quite probably fit yet from his bad injury, but we all know what Rodoni can do. And once he's fully fit, he's certainly one of the players that you've got to take into the top flight with you if you do eventually go up.
Yeah, so. I think BTA stands out for me. I was screaming for him to be sold in the summer. I just thought,
I think we all were, weren't we?
How poor was he for us last season? I know you've heard him mention once or twice in interviews that he was carrying a knock or was playing at 70% fit, and you just think potentially that could be true, but was it just not being settled? And there must be a few factors, right? But he's come on leaps and bounds. I mean, the energy he provides, the goals and assists he's got this season. He's a new player. He's a new signing compared to.
He's got the knack of being in the right place at the right time, scoring them goals.
Yeah, and he's been played in the number 10 instead of Rodoni. He's been played on the right wing. There was a couple of games he played in the left wing. Leicester away, I think he definitely played on the left. So he's been thrown about in all these positions, and. We've gone, you're not going to be the striker that we thought you were. You're going to be here and there, and you're just going to have to do a job for us. And he's done it. Fair play to him. He's the player I most wanted to be sold, maybe bar Lampard in the summer, but has done fantastic for us.
I think the problem was last season, we started so badly that a lot of these players had to come from down here somewhere. And Frank Lampard. Frank Level's a different bloke. Frank Lampard came in and he brought in different levels they had to achieve. And I think some players got there quicker than others. And I think Brandon took a while to get going, basically, get used to how he wanted him to play. I think he just struggled to get with it. And then when we saw the start of the season, now he's doing great. It's just a shame the injury came right at the wrong time for him, because he was, on great form. It's just a shame. And he possibly got the injury because of how good he's been and how involved he is. He's just doing a lot more, apart from the fact he came back from international duty, which I still think him and Wright coming back from long haul flights is obviously an issue there, because they seem to struggle every time they come back. So it's almost like they need to go to some sort of isolation tank or something, because it's hard, and it's the pair of them seem to struggle with it. So but he's been good, hasn't he? We just got to get him back, but we don't know what it's going to be like when he comes back. Hamstrings are dodgy, aren't they?
Yeah, you just don't know what it's going to be like. We know someone like Rodoni, for example, he's took a bit of time to get back to full fitness, hasn't he, since he's been back in the team. So he's not quite there yet, but he's getting there slowly. And
I thought, Ken, the second half, the first 15 minutes, because you and Vicky over the other side, aren't you?
Yeah.
Where we are, and Jack, you could see him, EMC, Torp, Grimes, even Bidwell doing little passes. It was great to see for 15 minutes, that first 15 minutes, that second half. And I thought, yes, that's the Rodoni from last season, the way he was moving it around. I think once he starts getting into the box and getting the goals again, that's when you'll see the real Rodoni. And I think you're right. I think the injury plus the shoulder problem, which still I'm not sure he's got over yet. Is he still feeling it? I don't know. But he's not 100%. And if he's knackered like the rest of them with this illness, that is an issue.
That's it. You don't know. He might have had a bit of a flu bug as well.
But these guys have played through it because they had to. And I like what Frank Lampard said about Milan, how, what can you do? You ask a player if he's fit and he says he's fit to play. Obviously, he probably didn't feel like he was fit to play, but he felt like he had to play. I mean, sometimes you get asked the question. I mean, I've done it. or just local football, even hockey, where you say to somebody, "Are you fit to play?" and you know full well they look absolutely dreadful from the night before, but you're thinking, "I need him to play. He's one of the best players, even if he's 3 parts peed up from the night before."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? and they still put a bit of a performance in, and then come off after about 60 minutes. That's the trouble. You got players like Milan. You've got to appreciate the fact that he wanted to play. This is a great squad of players, I think, at the minute, in terms of attitude and that mental fortitude you need to be top of this table. And I've said it week in, week out. If there's any other club top of this table now, we'll be saying, "Oh yeah, they're the best team by far, aren't they? They're fantastic. Look how far ahead they are." But it's us, and I think we underplay it sometimes. And if we get the result tomorrow, I'm not underplaying it ever again this season. And if we collapse, if you have a massive collapse, then really, that's our own fault, isn't it? Because from this point onwards, we should get promoted, as far as I'm concerned. Regardless, we've got half a season, I know, but we're in the driving seat now. We're so far ahead of third place. We should get promoted.
Yeah, we're climbing the hill. We're getting to the top. We're not quite over it yet, but we're certainly a long way up that hill. And it's a big hill. And we're certainly looking down on the rest of them. So let's go on to the game then on Monday. Do you see any changes in Claudio and the team? Big changes? Or do you think he's going to obviously go back with... I think he's going to go back with Hadji myself rather than Sims.
Bobby Thomas is interesting because he's got a bit of a calf problem, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So he might not be in. De Silva's still suspended, isn't he?
Yes. So he could, he could play Burrell there, or did he stick with Bidwell?
I think if there's any changes, it'll be up top. If there's any. But in saying that, don't be surprised if Eccles comes in to start this one. Because I think we need more legs in that midfield against Ipswich in terms of sticking your foot in. You got more chance of Eccles doing that than, say, Rudoni. And I would sacrifice Rudoni to see what happens in the first half and play. Him or Torp needs to be probably sacrificed for Eccles, I think, in this game to play alongside Mr. Master Grimes. Basically.
Well, to be honest, Eccles has done brilliantly when he's come in, hasn't he? Every time he's been called upon this season, he has done well.
Yeah, he's a good lad. He's a good player. He's good enough for us. He's proved this season. He's improved massively. You talk about who's improved. Josh Eccles has improved this season without a shadow of a doubt. So I think it wouldn't surprise me if he comes in, and it wouldn't surprise me if Wright starts, because we know that Frank Lampard loves Haji Wright. So,
okay, Vicky, how do you see the team selection from tomorrow?
Yeah, I think Claudio's probably right. I think if there's any changes, it's going to be. Oh, I was shocked that Sims came in on. I mean, it just seems strange because we know that Frank's preference is to play right, and I've spoken before about how I think that because they offer different things, there's different types of games for them, but it's not like Frank's never played like that before. Even if you think Sims to be the better striker for the game, he still picked right as his preference if he's fit. So that was a strange curveball. I wasn't expecting that, and but now it just makes it a bit hard to predict what he's going to do on Monday, because no striker benefits from chopping and changing. So you really want one of them to get a run. So I don't know. But yeah, equally, I mean, I'm a massive fan of Eccles. I never really understand why he doesn't get more support. I mean, just for me, like a player that's from Coventry that's basically got better year on year since he made his first team debut, and like a local dad given 100% and got the quality to go alongside it. For me, that's sort of screamed out fans' favour, but for so many, he just isn't. It's just I just find it shocking. But yeah, I think that sort of midfield. I think I'd keep Torp, so I'd sacrifice Madoni as well. So I'd go Torp, Eccles, and Grimes. Just think that's solid. That's a solid midfield, and then you've got something different to bring off the bench as well, haven't you? Like Madoni can come on second half, add something different, and so yeah.
Okay, Jack, where do you go in the selection for tomorrow?
Yeah, I don't mind that shout. I didn't see a world, to be honest, where Frank drops Radoni, but
True.
I can absolutely see why people are suggesting it and why they think that it would be a good idea. I completely agree. It would be a different dynamic in midfield. You get more kicking power, more defensive ability, a little bit more structure in the midfield, because Eccles isn't going to be on the right wing and the left wing 10 seconds later. He might float there a little bit, but generally he'll stay quite central in the pitch. And it does give you a different option off the bench, absolutely. I've heard a rumour that Haji Wright's missus might be expecting.
Well, she was late on Saturday, on the Boxing Day, 3 days late.
Oh, okay.
But he's not having the baby, though. She is.
Yes.
You want to be there.
But I don't know if he's got any kids. If it's the first, it's a little bit different to your 42nd kid. But, I don't know how many he's having. That could factor in. Maybe that was a factor why he was on the bench and not starting.
He'd probably be late for the delivery.
He'll be offside.
Yes. You can't stand there, Mr. Wright. You've got to stand here.
So that's a small factor, that if you put him on the bench and he gets the call, he can just disappear. Whereas if he's on the starting lineup, Frank's then got to try and drag him off, and he might not be as ready to go to the hospital. I don't know. I might be waffling, but it's possibly a factor that will have to be talked about from a human perspective. Let's be honest. And also, I floated this out there a couple of weeks ago. I can't remember who was on. I think it was me, Claudio, Jonah, and Alex Craig. But KKH played a lot of last season at left back for Preston North End. If we don't think Bidders has got the legs,
he got player of the season, didn't he, for them?
Exactly. If we don't think Bidders has got the legs against pacey wingers of Ipswich and might be blowing a little bit from Boxing Day, and if we don't think Brow is up to it for whatever the reasons, KKH is a perfectly valid option at left back that should genuinely be considered. Maybe Lampard just has KKH as right back and that's it in his books, but it's something that we might have to consider, given that De Silva has had a red card. I think he's back for Birmingham. Yeah. So we've got a couple of games quick, thick and fast and all that. Brow, for whatever reason, might not be able to last 90 minutes or still has a bit of an issue with the language barrier or whatever's going on. These options have to be thought about. And I'm sure someone's had that conversation with Frank. So I wouldn't be too surprised if we saw KKH playing left back this weekend, tomorrow, Monday. What day is it? Is it 2026? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the days of the week. But yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
Going back to Josh Eccles, the other thing he does do, I think better than most, he's very good at pressing.
Yes.
He does hound down the opposition defenders a lot better. He looks a bit ungainly at times, but he definitely gets his foot in a lot better than some of the other ones do. So it'd be interesting. It's the dilemma, isn't it? Because I think we all know what Frank thinks his strongest team is. I'm not sure he can put out his strongest team tomorrow. And of that strongest team, I still think there's 2 or 3 who aren't properly fit yet. So he needs to manage this game carefully tomorrow, because what we don't want is a loss that puts the doubters going, oh no, it's a terrible loss. We lost to Ipswich. That's it now. We don't want that. So it'd be interesting. I bet there's a surprise in there when we look at the lineup tomorrow. It wouldn't surprise. It wouldn't surprise me. There's a surprise because.
He likes rotation, doesn't he? There is a lot of games coming up, so he might opt to do that. Something we might not. He just likes springing the odd surprise on us, doesn't he? Give me a prediction then, Claudio. What are you going for?
Oh, a prediction
for tomorrow.
Oh. What's the table looking like now, actually, Jack?
Well, I've got it here. This is the updated one. I happened to get 2 correct scores in a row. I got Bristol City 1-0 and Southampton 1-1, spot on. So I've pulled ahead of the pack a little bit. Ken and Claudio and Vicky are still the chasing pack.
There's a little bit of that.
I'm a bit of a nightmare. Oh, there.
Okay, then here we go. I think we're going to do this tomorrow. Although I'm going with Caroline. She's not very much. She's not a good luck charm when she comes to watch the Cov.
Oh no!
Don't tell us.
She was there for the Swansea 3-3 when we were 3-0 up. And with 20 minutes to go, I'm saying to Caroline, we never beat Swansea. This is incredible. 3-3. Had to tell her not to laugh. Millwall, where we lost 1-0 around about Christmas time, 2 or 3 years ago, Jack. There's another game where we drew. What do you think? She was at Burton when we lost to Bristol, Bristol City. I'm not sure.
She's worse than you.
So she's going to break a duck, I think, tomorrow. 2-1 win.
So next time we get Claudio an away ticket, we'll bring Caroline with us instead, because she's a bad luck charm at home, but not away.
Birmingham City, Luke is going. He's going instead of me, so that's confirmed. Although he said, "What time is it?" I said, "Well, you got to get up early. You get to get on the coach." Oh, right, okay. So,
do you want me to pick him up on the way through?
Yeah. Well, he'd be in Leamington. That's the only thing. So, so I'm going 2-1. All right, come on, we're top of the league. 13 points behind us. They're garbage. 2-1 to us.
Okay, fair enough. We'll take that. Vicky, home victory for you?
Yeah, I think we'll do it. I mean, this is definitely like one of the toughest home ties of the season, isn't it? So it's not going to be an easy game. And we've and actually Ipswich are the only team to have beaten us twice, aren't they, under Frank's tenure? That's right.
Yes.
Once it's a Premier League club in a cup competition.
Yeah. But and actually we have a bit. But the good thing actually is the last time we beat them was the season we got promoted from League One. So we're due to beat them again this season, just as we're going to get promoted to the Premier League. So that's the positive slant I'm taking on the stats. And so I think tough game, but I think we'll do it 2-0.
2-0, okay. What are you going, Jack?
No, you first, Ken. I get accused of going lost and picking everyone else's scores. I'm top of the league, mate. You lot go first.
All right, okay. I'm going to go 3-1 win.
Ooh.
3-1 win to Cov. I think we'll beat them tomorrow. I think we owe them one from a few weeks ago when we were the better team and didn't get anything.
Can I just say as well, Ken and Vicky are the only two that have predicted a win every single game without fail. Now, in a normal season, that would be called abhorrent and
mad, yeah,
stupid, insanity.
Foolhardy.
But this year, we've only not won 8 out of 23. So it's actually
what's crazy is what's crazy is in a normal season I would still have been doing that. I always predict a win. I can't help.
Especially at home. I mean, I'm confident that anybody would beat at home, to be fair.
Yeah, but Ken, you said we were going to beat Man United 4-3 at Wembley, and we did. So you pull these things out the bag. I don't know how.
Even at 3-0 down, I was confident we'd win.
I don't believe. Right, I'm going to go different to the rest. Oh, no, same as Miles. I'm going for a tight 1-0 win.
Another 1-0. That would be the third 1-0 win on the trot, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you sort of all bullied me into it. I was thinking about a draw, but I'm going to go for the win. I think we are good enough at home, and I think we will just edge them. We've tightened our defences. 3 clean sheets in the last 4. Clean sheets at home are a lot easier to come by than they are away. We owe them 1. They're without Hurst, who's always good against us. We're going to do them 1-0. Tight, edgy, cagey, horrible, nerve-wracking, but 3 points again. Ole, ole.
Okay. Fair enough. Got all the scores in. Now, what I was going to ask you before, I'm just going to ask you about the January window in a minute and who you think should come in. Halfway point at the moment. What's been your highlight, Claudio? What would you say what sticks out for you? Gives you the chance to decide.
First game of the season, sat in the boardroom with Doug.
Has it gone downhill ever since, or what?
Yeah, not allowed in there now by the looks of things. No. Highlights. God, so we should have mentioned this at the top of the. Hold on, let me get.
Well, I just thought it was halfway.
A program here. Let's have a look.
Your highlight's going to be getting a bloody sticker book, isn't it?
Yes, I managed to get a sticker book. Yeah, I've given all my swaps to Miles, so his lad's going through. I'll tell you what. Highlight: Middlesbrough away. That was a great result.
Yeah,
because we won it. It looked like we were going to lose it, and then we won it. So
one of them crazy games, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that showed us why we're going to get promoted this season. You know, we went to the team, supposedly the best in the league at the time, because nobody would give us credit, and we beat them on their patch 4-2. Happy days. See you later. Back down wherever motorway it is from Middlesbrough. So for me, that was the highlight. It was tremendous.
Well, hopefully there'll be a few more.
And that showed the character of this squad, I thought.
Mine was, not surprisingly, the 7-1 victory over QPR.
Of course, yeah.
Simply because, obviously, we bought the stadium as well, which was a fantastic come out of nowhere. That was a big highlight because we know how important it is to own your own stadium and stuff.
I was holding the programme as well. Look at that.
That was my highlight of the season. I think that was, that was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And we just went on from strength to strength. And that game, we scored 7 goals as well, which was brilliant. Vicky, what highlight for you?
They're both good ones, actually, aren't they? They're both good ones, aren't they? I think. Waking up that morning to the news that we'd bought the stadium. I think the only thing that's going to beat that all season is just getting promoted. I think that just felt such a special moment. After years of really difficult times, just to wake up and read, we now own that ground again, and so we can't be kicked to some other city again, and so that's special. But yeah, both those games were special. QPR and Middlesbrough. I think Claudio's right that showed what we're all about. Whereas a little side highlight is when it's my Ellis Sims T-shirt from Neil Jacks. That was a highlight of the season. So we'll just give a shout out to that.
yeah, agree there. Jack, what about yours?
Just to be different to everyone, I'm going to go with that 1-0 win away at Stoke. It was the best attack meets the best defence at the time. We were only 2 points clear before that game. That put us 5 points clear, gave us some breathing room. It meant we were top at the international break in November, which is a significant milestone in getting promotion as well. And it just proved that no matter who we played, home or away, no matter the circumstances, the best defence, and not only to beat them 1-0, but how we scored the goal. I remember shouting at Hadji Wright that game where he could have passed the ball a couple of times and he brought Ellis on. Ellis got the flick on from the long throw-in, and that finish from Mason Clark. We've got a lot to choose from, but is possibly my favourite goal of this season. Being there as well. I know the Middlesbrough game meant more in the context of the moment, but in that moment, being there in that atmosphere and walking out of that ground, having watched a bicycle kick to, keep our season as it was and keep us top was magical. And that for me is, without saying the same things as you guys, was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, well, I'm sure there's a few others of the highlight games we could go through. There's quite a few of the high-scoring games we've been involved in, which are highlights to a lot of people. We're not used to scoring that many goals, are we? And it took us all by surprise, to be honest. But, just fantastic. Well, the first half it's just been brilliant, and let's hope the second half is going to be even better. So, and come May, we've got something to some bit of silverware maybe to pick up, hopefully.
I was looking at the fixtures, Ken. I was trying to work out which game we're going to win the league.
Wow. Well, it's funny you say that. I was looking at what game we could possibly be promoted at and have a lot of fans there. And I was thinking Blackburn away, where they give you a big allocation.
No. If it stays as it is, Hull City away, we might have to have another date night at Easter.
Oh, Hull City away. Yeah. Got some good memories of that. Yeah.
Imagine being promoted at Easter.
Well, it is possible, you know. We've got to look at it because it is possible to carry on the way
it
we
won't be as
are.
late as Blackburn. We'll have the job done well before Blackburn. That's too late in the season.
I reckon
Before Blackburn.
Bramall Lane on Wednesday,
well
the 25th of Feb.
Well, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Winning at Bramall Lane.
Yeah.
Go in there and just needed a point or something like that.
Well, yeah, because if we win tomorrow and we keep that distance, then that's at least 6 games clear, aren't we, Jack? You got to look at.
And are we going to lose?
And everyone's got to, and people got to win, and teams got to play each other. So it's an incredible gap. That's all I'm concerned about. Not Middlesbrough, who's in third. That's where we got to keep it clear of.
Yeah, we want that P on the little league table that be promoted as quick as possible, and then we can concentrate on going and winning the league. Will be even better. But
I still can't believe we're talking about it.
No, we are. We're at the halfway stage, and we said, look, we get to Christmas and see where we are, and if we're still there, you're in with a shout. And we've passed Christmas. We're at the halfway stage. We played everybody once. Yeah. We've only lost 2 games, so the facts don't lie, do they? At the end of the day, that's where we stand. We've scored 54 goals. And
if you're the owner of Coventry City Football Club now, you'd be sat down with the manager or coach or whatever you want to call him, and you'd be saying, I expect to get promoted from here.
Yeah.
And I think that's the levels we're at now.
Yeah. And it's going to take an almighty collapse if
Doug King's a winner. He's a winner, isn't he, in business? So he's put everything in place, really. Start with the training ground, and no doubt, hopefully, in January we get a couple of players in, or 2 or 3, because we will need something more to keep it going.
Yeah.
But maybe not, because he'd be looking at it thinking, well, we're 13 points clear of third, and we've got half a squad out.
Yeah.
But I think, So I'm hoping that he backs Frank and the coaching staff, and we get some players in, to get us out, to make sure we don't, cop this up, basically.
Okay, well, let's move on to that, because we're going to move on to that anyway and talk about January. How many players would you say then, Claudia, we need?
We need?
At this stage. Would you bring, or many do you think we'll get, should we say?
Right, I think we need 3. We've got plenty of defenders. We've got loads of defenders, as far as I'm concerned. It's midfield and forwards I think we need more of, because that's where we seem to be very injury prone. I would go for somebody who could maybe cover Matt Grimes.
Yeah.
We can play a defensive midfielder. We need width. We need another wide player, whether they can play on the left or the right, because there's not a lot of cover there, I don't think. And then I still think we need a different kind of forward to what we've got.
Yeah, maybe a small, nippy type player. Maybe.
Or somebody with lots of pace. Who absolutely frightens the bejesus out of any defender up front when you're playing on your... Because I'll tell you what, you watch the Premier League guys, and it's incredible how fast they break. Did anybody see Sunderland Leeds today? That goal they scored, Leeds. What a goal. What a goal that was. From front to back. And they took it out of defence where you're thinking they're going to lose it here, they're going to lose it here. And they reminded me of when they played us last season at the CBS, that goal.
Yeah.
It was a really good goal. And they've got Calvert-Lewin up front. He may not, some people don't think he's brilliant, but he's a flipping good striker.
Oh, he knows where the back of the net is, doesn't he? All of a sudden.
And he was struggling to get a club, and he's gone to Leeds. So that's what I'm saying is, so obviously if we go up, that's different. But we do need somebody who can come in and you can keep and will be good enough for the Premier League.
I find that strange, Claudio. I'm going to respectfully disagree in the fact that I don't think we need anyone particularly, because we're top of the league. We've had injury issues. We're top of the league by, 8 points. We're clear of third with 13 points. We don't need any additions. We would like cover in certain places in a different dynamic. But I think if nothing happened in the January window, nothing, yes, we'd all be disappointed, but we would probably still go on and win the league. It might not be as comfortable as we'd want because fatigue and injuries would catch us up. But it's one of them. I personally think one good, proven player at this level who can play in the attacking third, and I'm going to name you two people in a sec that I would like to go and get. I wouldn't say realistic, but not, it's not Erling Haaland I'm trying to sign here. And that would get us there. There's two players that I think could easily fit into the style of squad we have, that could play on either wing, that can play in the number 10 position, or at a stretch, one of them could play as a number 9. And the two people I would absolutely love to see us go and sign are either Scott Twine from Bristol City or Joe Gelhard of Hull City. Now, both of those teams are in playoff positions, and I would find it very unlikely that they would want to sell either of those players. But they are exactly the types of players that we could go and get. The wages wouldn't be outrageous. They're proven at this level. And that would massively add to our attacking threat and rotation ability in those positions. And I think that would do us, personally.
Okay.
I still think we need more.
I personally think we need 2, as I keep saying, we need 2. And I think we'll get 2.
2?
I do think we need at least minimum 2 players, because we don't know what injuries we're going to have, do we, in the next couple of weeks? Grimes could get, God forbid, Grimes could go and get injured tomorrow, or Hadji, or both Hadji and Sims could get injured. Then we're in trouble, aren't we? Because we've got no one, absolutely no one, and that could happen at any time. So I think Doug has got to take a bit of a gamble and back Frank, and Frank will have players lined up. He'll know what players he'll go for. There might even be loans, to start with, because he might not even want to splash out too much money. So he might bring a couple of loans in, and I think there'll be 2 coming in at least, minimum. And I think Frank will have them lined up already.
But where? Where would you want your 2?
I'd want a striker and a midfielder, preferably a wider player as well, who can maybe play in both 2 positions. I don't know, but definitely a striker and a midfielder. So that's what I'd be looking at, and hopefully he'll have them lined up. I mean, I've heard all the rumours about that George from Chelsea on loan and stuff like that. He's not getting a game. He's quite a decent player at Chelsea, isn't he? And then another name that's been mentioned is Ewan Ferguson from Brighton. Now, he's at Roma. He's been recalled by Brighton.
I like him.
Subject to a club taking him on loan. Now, obviously, he's not been playing for Roma that much. He's played a couple of games. He scored against Celtic a couple of weeks ago in the European game, but he hasn't been playing enough games. They want him to play games. And I've heard Ewan Ferguson, who has got a Coventry connection, by the way, because I believe his granddad or somebody was born in Coventry and etc. So that's how I'm finding out. So I didn't even know he had a Coventry connection, but he has. So yeah, I'm hearing that, and he's a top player, but he can't get in the Brighton side at the moment. Maybe him on loan, I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see. That's just 2 names that were mentioned to me. Vicky, what would you say? Where would you say, if any, of course?
No, I think we need some, just because there's always a risk of injuries, and so we need just some depth. I don't think. I'm sort of like in the middle between Jack and Claudia there. I think, like, if we knew that this team could stay fit and injury free and booking free and all that stuff till the end of the season, then the team we've got is good enough. But the likelihood is there's going to be some more injury problems.
Can't do that. Yeah.
So we need something to counter that. So for me, I'd like 2 players. Both in midfield, one defensive and one attacking wise, either attacking midfield or wide sort of / wide player. So somebody that could do a job if the worst case scenario, which I think is the worst case scenario, if Grimes gets injured, that's the biggest problem that we'll have in the second half of the season if something happens to him. And we need to have something in place to deal with that. And then I also think that the games where we have difficulty is if we've had to when like so Torp was out injured, or Redoni or Sakamoto, when you really just like lost some of that attacking ability going forward, and then you start losing the midfield battle. So that's what I'd like really, just a defensive type cover and an attacking cover. And other than that, I'm pretty happy. And I think then we go again in the summer when we'll be building a Premier League squad.
Yeah, of course. If we do go up, obviously we'd need to make a lot of changes.
When we go up.
So
here's a question for you then. If we could, I've seen the comments mention a player who I think is a similar level to sort of Joe Gelhardt. We probably won't get him, but why not? Is Imran Loser, the centre mid at Watford, who's a holding type midfielder, who's he box to box almost as well. If we went and got someone like him that would be cover for Grimes, and we recalled Raphael from loan, would you be content or happy with that transfer window? That's it. That's all we do. Loser and recall Raphael. Nothing else.
Well, we don't really know much. We haven't really seen. I mean, I don't know how's Raphael been doing at Wigan, because I haven't
not
really been
brilliantly. I think he's got 1 goal, 1 assist. He's been played both wings. He's been played as a number 9. He's played at wing back as well, at least once, from what I've read. And he's struggled to hold down any position or minutes, basically. I think they like him and they just throw him on or take him off every game, basically. But he's got no consistency, which is a shame. So it wouldn't surprise me if we recalled him and reloaned him somewhere else as a minimum anyway.
Yeah, so no, but the answer to that then would be no, because I don't think it'd make the team or squad any better. And we've got to bring in better players, haven't we, that we've got, I think, or certainly equal, that can play and are ready to go in and play, because that's what, because it's a competitive league, as we know. We ain't got time to bed players in at this stage of the season. We've got to have players that are going to be ready and up for it, and want to score goals, etc., and get involved. So, no, I'd probably be against the Raphael thing. Then, even if he isn't doing that well at Wigan, as with the other guy, I don't know too much about him, but it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. But I just got a funny feeling they're going to be loans. If they are coming in, they might be loans rather than Doug gambling and spending in any large amounts of money. I think he'd probably bring in loans, and of course it's whether the club that you're loaning off is willing to let him go, isn't it? That's the problem you've got as well, because if that team's up in the top half of their division or whatever, or doing well in the league, and they want to keep their strongest squad, don't they, in January? January's always a bit awkward, isn't it? So
yeah, the only loan players you're going to get is if people are unhappy and not getting minutes and they want to leave and play football. Yeah. They're not going to come on loan if they're in a squad and they're playing, because
which is
the thing. To check the question, I wouldn't be unsatisfied with that. I think Loser's a decent addition to our squad, and we saw glimpses of Raphael. It was all slightly strange that he went out, because Lampard seemed to see him as a soldier off the bench. It was slightly strange. He went, and I think we all thought that probably we were expecting someone to come in, and they didn't come in, and he went, and it just was probably just slightly fell through on that. But so I think the important thing for me is it would be nice to see somebody come in that we think, yeah, that's quality, it's adding to our squad. So like someone like Loser would. But we've also got to all bear in mind, I think, that where we are as a squad, and we're not going to be spending money bringing in like 5-10 players. There's going to be a couple of additions at most. And what you see most transfer winners, there'll be other clubs that will bring a lot of players in because they're in a mess. They haven't started the season well, all sorts of factors. And we don't need to be looking at those teams going, oh, look, why have they brought in 5 or 6 players? We need to do the same, because we don't need to do the same. We're top of the league, and we've got a squad that's got us there, and we don't need to be disrupting that squad with 5 or 6 new additions. And we need to be careful not to let that become like a negative feeling in the team. I think we don't need a whole rebuilding situation now, but there'll be teams out there that will do. We'll be seeing teams that will spend a lot of money because they're not where they expected to be in the league, and will need to try and do something about it in the second half of the season. That's just But yeah,
Yeah,
so
it'd be
I just
interesting.
want someone decent to come in and I'll be happy. That's
Yeah.
What one?
Yeah, well, I think there'll be two anyway. So, anyway, we've got a few comments, Claudio, to catch up on, and there's a few names banding about there as well.
Yeah, Mark Rainbow says, talking about sticker books, anyone know a shop that actually sells stickers? I'd love to have some swaps.
Well, you've got something, yeah?
Yeah, well, I just went and bought the whole box, didn't I?
How much is the box? How much does it cost you for a box?
36 quid I spent on one box.
Really? Oh, God.
Yeah. And I've ended up with 100 swaps in that lot. So it's a nightmare. M King says, me too, the day we owned our home again, the Thrash QPR 7-1, the stuff dreams are made of. So does Dave Knights, he agrees. Keith says, highlight for him. They bought the grounds, put 7 past QPR, but as Claudia said, probably the most important game to win was that Borough game. Derby away is excellent, according to Back on Track. Ian Small says, agrees, selling the getting the CBS, best day in 25 years. Highlight was the win at Borough, particularly the last 2 goals. Borough away, Cov Coleman, especially the lady that lost it next to the away end, was very funny. Highlight, owning the stadium, winning 7-1, both on August the 23rd, a birthday I'll never forget. Happy New Year, says King Carlos to all the Sky Blue fans. The QPR win was the best day since we beat Wolves in '67. Blimey, Frank Wood. What about the cup final? At home, not counting the cup final, of course. King Carlos says 5-3 Derby.
Yeah.
Mark Rainbow, how about the enemy playing a short set after the final whistle at the Wrexham game to celebrate the title?
That would be good.
Michael Moore says, title is cherry on top, promotion is a massive cake. Doug King. Mark King says, Doug King's stewardship of the club has been beyond brilliant in my view. Happiest time of my life to be a Cov fan since the FA Cup win back in '87. If we get promoted, this is almost on a par with when Walker came in at Blackburn, basically, where he came in and transformed the club within a 2 or 3 seasons, got them promoted, and they won the league. They won the Premier League. That's what I'm saying. Why can't it be us?
Why not? Just as big as, if not bigger than Blackburn.
Oh dear.
Bigger.
We're going to get some awful kickoff times when we get promoted.
Oh, God,
should go for loser from Watford, another 2 assists at the weekend. It's always good going for players at clubs where they need to get rid of players because of financial reasons. Hull City, you mentioned the guy at Hull, they're 41 million in debt at the minute. They're close.
They wouldn't sell Charles Hughes to us.
Well,
they
he might now,
but
he's an idiot.
Change their mind now, yeah.
Yeah, but he wanted 20 million because he's 41 million in debt. That's why. But when the bank come a knocking, they start selling people quick. We've done that in the past, you know.
They might have to come down off their high horse with the prices.
Yeah, because if the bank come in and say we need 10 million now, they'll go, you can have Charles Hughes for 10 million now. Mark Rainbow says, a Prem starting forward, wide player or 2, and the goalkeeper. Well, yeah, I mean, obviously.
Well, we know he's here to the end of the season, definitely, isn't he now? So we know there's no recall on him. So we have got him to the end of the season.
I don't think there ever was, to be honest. Some bloke on Twitter starting a rumour. Paul Stratton, I hope Doug doesn't think that 13 points clear of automatics is good enough. Squad certainly needs some help. Jack, you are way off it.
Fair enough. Everyone's quite entitled to their own opinions, aren't they? I just think if the squad's not good enough, how have we got into this position? Yes, fatigue. Yes, injuries. Yes, we all want extra players, but I don't think we're desperate for it. I think if we kept exactly as we were, no ins, no outs, we would win the league. We might scrape it, but we would still win the league.
Ian Small says, BC fans don't rate Twine. I'm just picking out things for Jack now. Trevor Merriman, agree with Claudio. I've said it
Oh.
last in this season. Would like a fast, agile striker, different to Sims and Wright, a defensive midfielder, and possibly a left back. I know exactly what Jack is saying, but I just think there's too many bodies on the bench that wouldn't normally be anywhere near the first team squad had it not been the fact we got people missing, basically. And I think if you look at all really top teams, I know we can't afford to do this. You got your main squad and they're sat on the bench. You've probably got 2 or 3 senior players actually sat in their suits in the stand because they can't get in the team.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what when you get to that stage, you know, you've got plenty of money, but obviously we're not at that stage, are we? Mark Rainbow says, I'm also thinking any player we do bring in has to be a starter, not a squad player, because of the potential change in the summer. True. Now, this is a good one. Would not mind Stephen Estaquo. Is that Estaquo from Porto FC?
Estaquo.
He's looking for playing time. He's a solid midfielder defensively. We need backup for Grimes.
I don't know much about him.
Michael Moore says, having bought the stadium, I'd say Doug will be very calculated about January spending. Trust in Frank, says Frank Wood. He will pick the best 11 for Ipswich. We're top of the league because we've got the best attack in the league. Thiago at the end of the season, says Marco Sullivan. That'd be amazing. Scott Brownsword says, I wouldn't mind Joel Pirro. Well, I wouldn't actually, because he can play deep and he can play up front as well. He's a really good player and he scores a lot of goals at championship level. He's done that. He's proven. He was always up there, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was at Swansea. Was it Swansea?
Yeah.
With Matty Grimes in the team. Yeah, there you go. Michael Cronin, Chelsea have loads of fringe players. Frank's contracts should get the best ones. 3-0 Sky Blues. And Mandeep Singh says, people saying loans must have missed Doug King saying he doesn't like them. Yeah, that's true. I don't think he'll get loans in. This is the thing. I think it's sooner buy somebody for 4 million than pay 4 million to loan them. Unless you can buy them. Yeah. Roy Shropshire says, who exactly are these loan players going to replace? Because they ain't coming to sit on the bench. Well, this is true. And this is why we're saying it's difficult. Who are you going to bring in? Because obviously, if they're sat on the bench somewhere, mind you, Wolfenden was sat on the bench at Ipswich and he came in and sat on the bench. It's pretty much all season. So, I mean, I thought he was coming into the team to start when he signed him. That's why they signed him.
I did as well. But it's obviously made the other players that have currently got the shirt up their game a little bit, hasn't it? Because they know looking over their shoulder, thinking, well, hold on, I've got somebody who can take my place if I'm not playing well. So it puts pressure on them.
And Paul Stratton says, we got lucky with Hughes at Hull. Defensively, Hull are shocking. They're in the place, aren't they? Stephen is captain of Canada national team, apparently. Says,
okay.
Yeah. Giants of world football. Christy Hannity says, striker not needed. We have 3 good ones and goals all over the pitch. Oh.
Yeah, if we can keep them all fit, that's great. But we can't guarantee they're going to all be fit and available until the end of the season, can we?
So Michael Moore says 1.5 points a game will get us up. Win, lose, win, lose, win, lose. Yeah, well, there you go. I've caught up now.
Oh, makes a change. Well, okay. Just any of the business before we wrap up. Coach travel provider for the away game, ccfttravel.co.uk. To book your travel, we've got an important away game on New Year's Day at Charlton. And then we've got Birmingham away as well. So we've got a couple of away games. Get you travelling. And then car parking as well, home parking. And they do a bit of away as well. Coventryparking.co.uk. Go on the website and they'll give you the full price rundown. Just to let you know our show dates. There they are. Our next live show, we're doing an after-match show tomorrow, Claudio?
Yes.
What sort of time?
Well, it says 9:30, so hopefully,
Are we
yes.
going to go 9:30? Yeah, we're sticking with that. Sticking with 9:30.
Yeah, we got a 9:30 tomorrow after the show. So after the game, I should say, come and join us. That'll be around the time of all the full times in the other games as well. So following on from our game, we can actually see a live report of where we will be, with the exception of Birmingham, Southampton, which will still be just kicking off the second half, really.
Yeah.
But so we could follow that one along a little bit. Claudio's got New Year's Day, 6 p.m. So if you've all managed to get your hangovers, get rid of your hangovers by then, Claudio's live, 6 o'clock.
Yeah. There you go. So there are a few dates for your diaries there.
Main shows we're doing a Friday night. Not sure. We'll put an asterisk next to that one. Let's see. But Sunday the 4th, after the Birmingham game, that's going to be a main show, and then we will be returning to our Thursday, Sundays from
as per normal. Yeah. Okay.
I've just seen this come up on the comments.
Just bear with me 1 minute. Let me just go through this. Vicky, because I think you had an email off these people, didn't you?
So they'll be coming on. They'll be coming on in the run up to the match. Yeah.
Yeah, they're running. They're doing a sponsored run. Basically, Jack and Matty are from Millwall to the CBS Arena. They're going to come on the show and explain what's happening and the charity and all the money that's being raised, where it's going, etc. So we look forward to that. Claudia, sorry, you're saying you got a message?
Yeah, Salop CCFC has said a note to Miles. Facebook link on this YouTube account still wrong. Links to another page than yours.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll look at we'll have to look into that and see see about
Scott
that.
Brownswell says, is anybody going to Charlton? I think Leamington and Warwick got 48 people on that one. Jack, is that right?
Yeah, pretty much a full coach, which is fantastic. So
yeah, apart from me, I'm not allowed to go.
Yeah, of course. And don't forget, we have just seen the symbol come up. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It all comes in handy for the show, for the stats, etc. And why not? If it didn't cost you anything, so just press your like and subscribe. It'd be brilliant. Thank you very much, and we all appreciate all your comments.
Paul Stratton says Doug needs to gamble in January. Hope he backs Frank with some help. Injuries and suspensions could cost us, considering the position we are in. Mick Kelly says, is it true if we get promoted next season, promoted teams can use 80% of what they earn from this season for wages? Won't that affect this year's transfer window?
Well, I don't know. Is that true? I'm not sure.
They can do what they like.
Have they changed the rules?
Kieran Maguire, when we win the league, we'll get Kieran Maguire on to let us know about all the finances.
Yeah, because I don't know whether they have changed the rules, but I'm sure if we get Kieran on, he'll explain it all to us.
You can guarantee that virtually every player's got in their contract. If you get promoted, your wages are being doubled at least.
Oh, without a doubt, yeah.
Will Jack remember to put the banner back on?
I saw the comment come through, and I've put the banner back on. Yes, apologies. Well noticed, Cov Andy, but it also took you about 45 minutes.
And I hadn't even noticed.
Exactly.
What banner?
That.
Oh, that banner.
I took it off.
We weren't on about the Christmas banner, then, were we? This thing around the back on the side. That's as well, isn't it? But
there was a comment way back, Ken, about someone has their mugs been sent. I don't know who it was now. So
that's Martin King. He's in Canada, though, isn't he? So did you post that?
Canada, yes, the Canada one has been posted. No, I can't guarantee what time it gets
posted, isn't it?
Yeah, I know you live in Canada.
Martin.
Yes,
it was posted in August, mate.
It was a few weeks ago.
No, it got posted recently, just before Christmas, with the rest of them that needed to be posted. So I am bang up to date now with them all. I've been out and about delivering in my Santa uniform, door to door, knocking the doors, and personally delivering the ones that live locally. So everybody should have one. If you haven't got yours for whatever reason, just give us a little email and and tell us what show you want it on, what it was, and I'll check back. But as far as I'm aware, we're up to date. We've had a new stock in, so we are up to date with all the postage and all the local deliveries. So yes, your Canada one is on the way. So
I've just moved my head, so I've got the star above it.
I can see. Looks like
Come on, City, compete tomorrow, and we're on our way. And I'll just Mandeep Singh says, bumped into Rodoni. Don't bump into Rodoni. He's fragile. Bumped into Rodoni the other day. Took him out, he says, knocked his shoulder out. Bumped into Rodoni the other day in Tesco Warwick. Nice lad, humble and down to earth. Had to pick him up off the floor, though. So this is David Jackson says, quick yes or no. Does anyone else think Rodoni looks a yard off the pace since he returned from injury? Ken?
Yes.
Me, yes. Vicky?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Jack? Yes.
So.
Yeah, he is. He's not quite 100%. If he was like a Duracell battery, which he normally is, I'd say he's probably on 85% at the minute. Not quite there. Yeah, so he's getting there though. We all know what a fully fit Jack Rodoni can do. Is that about it then? Shall we wrap it up?
Yes, I've got to go back to my wife. It's a birthday, remember?
Oh, okay. Yeah. You got the fish and chips. You enjoyed them.
They've got cold by now.
Oh, you got bread and butter with that. Mushy peas. That's it then. Let's hope for 3 more points tomorrow night. Home to Ipswich. The Tractor Boys are in town. We owe them one from a few weeks ago, where there's no way, they deserved, I don't think, that 3-0 victory. They did get it, though, and let's hope we maybe can turn the tables and get a 3-0 win ourselves and continue our climb up that big hill and hopefully get over it very shortly. So it's a big play up Sky Blues from us, and we'll be back with the after show tomorrow night at what time, Claudio?
9:30.
9:30, because remember, it's a 6 o'clock kickoff tomorrow. Very rare 6 o'clock kickoff. So don't forget, everybody, 6 o'clock kickoff at the CBS. I'll see you there. Very good night and play up Sky Blues.
Play up Sky Blues.
Sky Blue Fans TV, for the fans, by the fans.